Meeting's being recorded.
Thank you. All right, we'll start again. I now call the 6th annual meeting of Unity Spiritual Center of Lansing to order. We are recording our meeting today for our records. We are putting everyone on mute to make it easy for everyone to hear. If you want to speak at some point during the meeting, you'll need to unmute. Raise your hand, and we're going to talk to you about how to raise your hand or physically raise your hand. And then Greg will call on you to speak. That way we don't have everybody trying to talk over each other, okay?
When you say Greg, which?
Greg, I'm sorry, Greg Dunning is our technician for this show. He'll take care of all the technical functions. And Jessica is recording taking the minutes, and she's the one that's letting everybody in. She's also checking the membership list to make sure that who's in here and who's members, so we have good records. Okay.
Thanks.
Also, and Nancy, I guess I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but Nancy Cody is going to be the timer. We'll get to that in a minute. All right, I get back to the script. So to unmute, I'm going to let Greg go through that in a second. Oh, okay. So that's where I'm at in the script. It says, I'm going to let Greg walk you through some things. So the table's yours, Greg.
Oh, okay. Okay. So folks, as one of the meeting co-hosts, I can help you out with, we're going to teach you how to raise your hand electronically here in the meeting. And then when we're done counting, I can go ahead and put everybody's hands down. So you don't need to worry about remembering to do that. But if you're on a computer, if you could go down to the very bottom of the screen, the right-hand most button should be reactions. If you can click on reactions and then click raise hand, I would appreciate it. I'm going to see if everybody's hands go up. And if people, look at them all going up. That's great. I understand that this won't be applicable for people that are calling in on the phone. So we'll have to call the question for those folks. We'll have to verbally ask you to say yay or to record your vote. So I'm seeing a lot of hands going up.
I don't know if the people on phone can raise their hand.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't. So when we do get around to taking actual votes, we'll have to just ask for them to say aye or
Greg.
nay. Yes.
Greg, this is your wife, and you can if you're on the phone, because I'm on my phone and I raised my hand, didn't I?
I mean, calling in on audio only.
Oh yeah, but if you're using your cell phone, you can. It's just a little different. There's a more option at the bottom of the screen you have to click on to raise your hand.
Well, that's why Jill's on, to keep me honest.
I did see.
We don't have that.
Greg, I did see that somebody
might know that.
Right, for just a second, let Sharon.
Somebody put a clap up. If you put a clap up instead of a raised hand, that disappears in 20 seconds. It won't help us with vote counting.
And under that was me. And under reactions, I just clicked on a hand because I can't see all that.
Right.
Oh.
It should be the very bottom choice.
It's a clap. Under my reactions, I do not have a raised hand.
Oh, is there?
My raised hand is under participants.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not updated.
Yeah, there's a couple of versions of this, and older versions have it in a slightly different place. Jerry, I see where you put up a green check there. There's still, I don't know, about a third of us don't have our hands up that are on the meeting. So let's go ahead and, okay, Lee just went up. Chris put up a green check.
Yeah, that's what
We don't have any way to raise our hand from our phone. It's not showing up anything like that. This is Laura and Melinda. So, and we don't want to interrupt anybody, but we might have some questions.
Right.
How would you like us to handle it?
Right.
Just wait for a break maybe, or?
What do you think, Dan? Did they just say, excuse me, I have a question or something? Because
why don't you just say we have a question and then pause, and then Greg will let you know when you can speak, okay? And it'll be. Does that sound good, Greg?
That's fine.
That'll work.
We'll just do the best we can with this. This is new territory for all of us. So I don't see where, Chris, I'm not trying to call you out, Chris McKenhill, I don't see a hand up for you.
I don't have a hand, I have a green check.
Do those stay up? Go ahead and choose the green check and let's see if it stays there.
I did once, I'll do it again.
Okay, I see Jerry. Okay. Jerry put a green check up. Jeff English put a green check up. I just want to see if they disappear. Yeah, they do. They turn themselves off. So that's a little bit of a problem.
Okay, then I'll just hold my hand all the time.
Okay.
So, Greg,
Yes.
this is Greg.
Yeah.
Couldn't they just use the chat button and vote yes or no? If that's a problem?
That's a good point. Well, that's one. Yeah. What do you think, Jessica? You're kind of watching the chat, right? Or we both are.
Yeah, what,
Have a choice of a green check or a red X for no.
Yeah, that's a yes or no. But see, those don't stay up.
We don't
They may
have
not
either
stay up
one.
long enough. They may
yeah,
not
I
stay up
don't,
long enough for us to count them.
Okay, now, wait a minute.
We don't have either one.
There is,
Yeah.
I think we may need to just use physical hands if they don't have the hand option.
I just found a hand. I clicked it. It's blue.
You know, I'm wondering if, because of the confusion that we're having, that maybe we're better off, we had this as a plan B. It doesn't allow for an anonymous vote, but we do have the option of doing a roll call.
Well, it
And
really
just-
isn't anonymous anyway, because we can
Yeah.
all see whose
True.
hand is up, right? So
So,
if you want to scrap the hand idea, I mean, the raised hand electronically, you know, we can. Yeah,
Nancy,
Nancy?
you're muted,
You're
but I
muted.
think you're agreeing with us.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'm
is-
just saying you could just raise your hand.
yeah,
Yeah, we would just have to ask that everybody hold it up for quite a while until we say, okay, we've got everybody, and then
Yeah.
put it back down. I mean, if that's the will of the people, we should go with that then.
Yeah, I think that's probably the,
For those that don't have it, they can do
Right.
that.
I'm gonna
Well-
lower all the hands for now,
right.
unless you guys want to play around with this some more.
No, I'll tell you what, my suggestion is that we use one or the other. I think the electronic hand raising is not solid enough because we don't want to have questions about whether the vote and who voted for what. I think we need to have clarity. So we should then just all do the raise your hand. And then that's the quicker way than the roll call, because the roll call would take a little longer. Would everybody be comfortable with that?
Sure.
I'm good with it.
If
Yes.
there's anybody that objects, please say so now. Okay. It sounds like that what we've decided is that we're going to have everybody physically raise their hand. If there's two people there, those that are just, I'll tell you what, when we get, here's what else we should do is the ones that are on phone where we can't see them. Once we've counted the raised hands, then Jessica, why don't you call, like we say, Laura and Belinda, what are your votes? Does that sound good?
yep,
And
We'll have
Edmund.
clarity.
and Edmund.
Yeah,
Is everybody comfortable with that?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I think we're ready to move on. Is that true? Everybody comfortable? You're gonna go ahead and mute everybody, Greg?
Okay, boom. Okay, that would have, that muted you too, Dan.
I can unmute. There we go. And Reverend Sharon, would you please begin with a prayer?
Sure. Wow. I think we just start this prayer open-eyed, and we'll open our eyes for you guys on the phone too, just looking at all these faces as we rapidly approach that 1-year anniversary since we've been physically distanced. And with that viewpoint, either in our mind's eye or physically, we'll close our eyes and just feel that connection. Feel that knowing that though physically apart, we are still intertwined in mind and heart and spirit. Yesterday, the daily word was yes. And truly, this past year has been a year of yes. And the future holds yet more yeses as we move into those infinite possibilities, knowing that together we can do so much more good than each of us as individuals, that we bless this community of souls willing to be of service to create a world that works for all, one person at a time, one project at a time, one thought at a time, one prayer at a time. So for this time together, for this time to celebrate our community at our annual meeting, for the many years that have gone before us, all those people whose shoulders upon which we stand, We say thank you, God, as we prepare to co-create the most fabulous spiritual adventure possible at Unity Spiritual Center of Lansing. And so it is. Amen.
Each board meeting begins with an affirmation of our mission and vision statements. Let's set the tone of our meeting by affirming these together. I'll read it and then you can repeat. And we awaken to our oneness with God, each other, and all creation. We see a world powerfully transformed through the shared spiritual awakening of all humanity. We value our collective spiritual awakening, freedom, integrity, joyfulness, inclusiveness, stewardship, and prayer. I have to tell you, I'm very proud to be part of this group. Okay, next item on our agenda is approval of the agenda. You should have all received a copy of the agenda in the mail. The board has one addition to the agenda under old business. Please add an update on the Home Street building. That's something that we'll be talking about on the agenda here further down the road. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda as revised? Please raise your hand if you want to make the motion. Okay, we got Liz Baker is one I see. So you want to record Liz Baker as making that motion? And do we need a second? Yes.
Patsy
Nancy
Lovely.
Cody? Yeah. All right, Patsy Lovely. Sure. Okay. Jessica, also, if we're going too fast and you're trying to write things down, please ask us to pause so that you can finish writing it down, okay?
Will do.
Okay, so now we go to a vote. Oh, is there any other discussion or anything anybody wants to add? You do raise your hand.
And Laura and Edmund and Belinda are muted, so you have to unmute on your phone. I think it's 6. Is that right, Greg Denning?
I can't.
think it's
Can you unmute
Did
me?
they do it?
Okay,
Pardon?
now we can hear Laura. We hear Laura.
You
and
speak
Belinda.
up. Yeah, now you can hear us?
Yes.
Okay. I hit the *6.
Okay.
Oh, good. So Edmund *6. There you go. All right. All right.
I do also.
All right. Okay. So those of you that weren't able to speak and make yourself known, if you approve everything so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So then I think we're ready for the approval. All those in favor of approving the agenda, raise your hand. And give us a time to count everybody.
Laura, it doesn't do you any good to raise your No, you're raising my hand.
Dan, you got to put your hand up too.
Oh.
You gotta say yes, yes. My answer is yes.
Okay, I'm not seeing any hands not up. Okay, that looks unanimous to me. Okay, so I've got a count of everybody except for
Edmund,
folks on the phone, right?
Edmund was a yes?
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay. Edmund and Belinda, would you guys go ahead and mute now that everybody else is muted? That way we won't pick up any noise.
Not a problem.
How do you mute?
I can mute everybody.
Oh, Greg will mute.
There's-
Dan, don't forget, you're going to need to unmute yourself too. So, boom, everybody's muted now.
Okay. This is kind of an adventure doing something new like this. First time ever for Unity, I'll tell you. All right, so we have approved the agenda. We move forward. Got to turn the page. Turn the page. All right. So Greg did report the vote. That was unanimous. Okay, so guidelines for the meeting. All members have signed in virtually when you joined the meeting. So that's validating that we have only members voting. Voting procedures. Voting during this meeting will be hand votes unless otherwise requested. I think we pretty much covered this part already. You can place your vote by registering the hand. I think I'm going to skip past this. I think we got that. Are we clear on how people are voting that are on the phone? They're going to do verbal, is that correct? Greg, you're muted.
Yes, that's what we talked about doing.
Okay, good. All right. Jessica and Greg will be the scrutineers for voting counts. They are both counting. For all discussion times, each speaker will be permitted to speak once for a maximum of 3 minutes. Nancy Cody will be our timekeeper on that. According to our bylaws, and only members are permitted to speak at a members meeting unless there is a 2/3 vote of approval by membership to allow non-members to speak. These are non-member, there are no non-members available on the meeting today. So. All right. So Greg, what is our quorum today?
We have 45 plus, I think there are 2 sets of people with 2 each, so that would be 47.
Okay. So
I
what does
think
that make?
there's
the-
3. Jessica's probably
think-
got a better count.
Yeah, well, yeah, we've been talking about it. I think it's actually 48 because Jane and Chad are on a call together.
Okay, yep,
Belinda
that's
and
48 then.
Laura, and then Dick and Betty,
That is 48.
And Marilyn and Karen.
and Marilyn and Karen. So that's 49.
Well, there we go.
I missed 3.
No, there's 4
Okay.
Yeah,
4 doubles.
4
So
doubles.
that'd be 49.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're agreed on the quorum is 49. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right, next is approval of minutes from 2020. Boy, that seems like an eternity ago, eternity. The minutes for the 2020 annual membership meetings were distributed to each of you prior to the meeting. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes as distributed. Is there a second to that motion? Somebody please raise your hand.
Kelly Gibson
Okay,
and
And,
Karen seconded.
Karen second. Is there any discussion or questions? If you do have that, raise your hand. Greg will unmute yourself.
Sorry, who seconded that?
Karen.
Mackenzie.
France.
Okay.
Nancy, yep.
Okay,
Don't see it.
does anybody have comments or changes that they would like to put in? Okay, with no objections, then we call for the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Laura and Belinda, unmute yourself enough to tell us your votes, and Edmund also.
Got a hand raised. Yes, and a yes.
Okay, got a yes.
Did you get
Bound and
mine?
determined.
I'm in favor.
Thank you, Kay.
Sharon Leininger, do you have your hand up? There we go. Thank you. I couldn't see it. It was off camera. Okay, I have not seen any hands not up. I think we can all put our hands down now.
Simon says, oh, Greg says.
And so we need to call and see if there's any opposed, right? I think just
Right.
before.
All right, are there any opposed? Raise your hand.
I'm looking. Not seeing. Okay, I see no hands raised.
And if there's somebody that's abstaining, would you please verbally let us know that you're abstaining? Okay. Makes it a little different when we do votes, isn't it? Okay, Greg,
Yeah.
go ahead and announce the results.
Well, that would be 49 approved and nobody, no nays and no abstentions. So I got to get my terminology right here.
Okay, so we're moving right along. So next is the financial reports. I'd like to invite our treasurer, Greg Edwards, to give us a financial report for 2020 and the present budget for 2021. So Greg, you have the floor.
There, I just unmuted.
Good.
So I expect everybody has received a copy of the financials, but I'll just kind of go through a little bit. As you can see, our income for 2020 was down about $39,000 from where we were in 2019. But our expenses were down substantially also. So we actually, for the year, we wound up as ordinary income. When we take our expenses minus what our ordinary income was, we wound up with $7,675.11 more than we actually spent. So from that standpoint, the support for this ministry, even though we haven't been able to meet every week, has been pretty incredible. And I'd just like to take a minute to say thank you to everybody that continued to tithe to this ministry, even though we couldn't meet. I was kind of shocked actually that things held up as well as they did. So, and then on the other part of that, we did apply for and did receive some pandemic grants. And as you look down there, you can see that we actually received $31,035 in pandemic grants. So when you add that to the $7,675 that we brought in from tithes and other ordinary income, we actually wound up the year with 38,000 plus more than what we started. So who could have guessed that was going to happen? That was phenomenal. So as you go down the balance sheet, you see like Brotherhood Mutual payouts. That was for the Home Street property, for the fire. There was you see a negative in the Beacons of Prosperity Fund. That was the people that had donated to the Beacons of Prosperity Fund that wanted refund on the money, since we weren't actually going to be putting that money into the Home Street property. Other expense that you see down a little bit lower, you can see that we paid $597,335 for the Chisholm Hills property. And we had other fire-related expenses, lost asset expense, and then other fire-related expenses. So, all the way down, if we're looking at, net other income, when we take into account the fact that, that we spent that money on the homes or on the Chisholm Hills property and the money that we've put into the Chisholm Hills property, our net other income was actually $409,023.38 less than where we started. So, if you look at the far left column there, it says 2021 budget. This was kind of, there were 5 of us that met that kind of went through this, and we based this budget kind of by combining, taking kind of an average of 2020 and 2019. It was an educated guess because we really don't know what to expect going forward in 2021. But you can see that we have 160,000 as general fund income, which is kind of an average again between 2020 and 2019. Classes and seminars, bookstore sales. So, our budgeted income for 2021, we're looking for 164,450. Figure in bookstore purchases. So we total gross income of 164,300. And figuring in what our expected expenses are for the Chisholm Hills property, that would be, electricity, heat, telephones, all of those kinds of expenses. We kind of estimated that our expenses for the year would be $21,750. Ministry operating expenses, which includes, salaries for Jessica and Sharon and that sort of thing, at $98,056. Tithe expenses, this is the 10% of our income that we tithe out, at $16,430. Mission fulfillment and team expenses, this would be other types of expenses that go into like for soloists, and things like that for the band and other things like that. So, total expense of 164,237. So our budgeted figure is $63 in ordinary income for the year, being on the plus. So, questions?
Probably should stop sharing your screen. So that
Yeah,
we
share,
can
we can't see people. There we go.
raise your hand if you have a question.
I was gonna say, the other part of that, I left us stop the share up there because we want to go to the other expenses, because it shows the expenses we have for the building this year for capital expenditures at the bottom. I just
Oh,
want to put
right,
it
I'm
back
sorry.
up again so everybody sees that. Here, the budget of 150,000 for repairs and renovations we need to do on the Chisholm Street property. So that's part of the budget.
Isn't it true, Sharon, that the 150,000 is still based on that spreadsheet and we haven't really got solid quotes and
It's a
costs?
guesstimate.
Yeah, so it could adjust. It could adjust down more, I think. At least that's.
Well, we've had
Okay.
already a couple unexpected expenses. I mean, we
Yeah.
didn't
Yep.
know for occupancy, we need architectural plans. We didn't know there was a
Nan has
foundation.
a question, I see. Go ahead and unmute yourself, I guess, Nan.
Also in that is 37,000 from insurance. When we get that, will we have all the insurance money?
Basically, yes, there's another few thousand coming in. But that's basically that completes that.
Yeah, that would be for your personal assets, correct?
Yeah. No, the 37 actually turned out to be 38. That was for loss of building use. So once we bought a property, we were through renting, we could file the final insurance claim. And actually it came in last week. It was 38,000 and something dollars. Thank you, God, for good insurance. Thank you, Dick, for making sure we had good insurance.
Yes. Is there any other questions?
I had a about whether maybe after 6 months or 3 months, or, I mean, is there some point when this would, maybe we'd have a better idea what we're gonna spend in 21, or what kind of income we're gonna have, or, I don't know. At some point, would this ever be revised? I guess that's the question.
Well, it may be. I don't think we're really gonna have I don't think we're gonna have a more clear picture until we can actually start meeting live again. Because we don't really know what the building expenses are gonna be with everybody coming in and out on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? And we don't really know what our tithes are gonna look like. I would expect they would go up when we start meeting again on Sundays, but don't know that for sure. So that's kind of why we went when we did the general fund income. That's why we did kind of an average between 2020 and 2019, was because we really don't know exactly what to expect when we start meeting live again. And we don't really know exactly when that's going to be. We're hoping it'll be soon, but we don't have a firm date on that. So.
Do you have an estimate?
Can I say just a second, Belinda, then you can speak.
Yeah.
One thing that we will do is every leadership council meeting is at the end of each month, all of the numbers are reviewed. And so the leadership council does keep an eye on things. And if you ever want to know where we're at, you're welcome to reach out. And the information is open to everybody that's a member. So if you have questions, so go ahead, Belinda, what did you want to say? You're muted. There you go.
I muted us again. Do you have any sort of estimate when you're gonna have the in-house meeting, and when are people able to go look at the new place?
you can come and look at the new place anytime.
Okay.
Whether or not, when we're gonna start meeting, I think is gonna depend on, well, two factors. Number one, how quickly we can get the drawings done and get that approved by the township, for us to meet on Sundays. And also, what the COVID numbers look like. So that is, we were kind of hoping to be able to begin by Easter, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, actually, that's our target, is to have our first in-person service on Easter. It's still looking like a possibility. Just something that came in that a lot of people don't know about yet is that the drawings are now complete. Just for everybody's understanding, we needed architectural drawings to submit to the township to get our occupancy permit that would allow us to have people come in. And those drawings are now, looks like they're going to be submitted on Monday. So we may have that occupancy. But as Belinda was asking, anyone is welcome to go see the new location if you haven't. I suggest that you call, talk to Reverend Sharon or someone, just so we don't get a big crowd of people, because we're trying to keep people apart. And without occupancy, we're really supposed to just be doing office business. So if you let us know, though, you're welcome to come and see it. It'll take your breath away. It's a beautiful place if you haven't seen it.
It's a fantastic building. We really got lucky. The other thing I guess I didn't mention is, with that 150,000 that we have budgeted for additional expenses for building out, because we wanted to put a bathroom upstairs in the lodge portion of the of the building, as well as putting in an office for Jessica and doing some building out. And that's kind of what that 150,000 is for, is those sorts of expenses. But at the end of the day, even with that, we will still have 150,000 as a contingency fund. So we're not scraping, every dime away to get this done. We're trying to be as prudent as we can be, as far as, keeping the finances of this, mission strong, and not, how should I say, not leaving us hanging by a thread. So we're trying to be careful with that.
And I like the way Kay said, we're being diligent stewards.
Yeah,
we're keeping a tight eye on it, that's for sure.
Looks like Denise has a question.
Go ahead, Denise.
Thank you, Greg. What I would like to understand is, when we're looking at the 2021 budget, the very last line that says minus 112,937. Could you help me understand that part, please? Thank
Sure.
you.
That is below the line. That is money that we are spending out of our savings that's going toward the upgrades in the building primarily. So that is kind of below the line income. So all of this other income that we got, below the line, the 327, from the insurance, and all of that other income from above the line, that's coming out of that. And then we also had, savings. So when you're looking at the budget, that minus 112,937 is the fact that we're expecting that we're going to have to spend some of our savings to make the upgrades on the building, to make the building how we want it. So at the end of the day, that's kind of where we're at with that.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
I think the important factor is it's not a loss. Not like we're in the hole. It's just money we're going to have to use from our reserves. Anybody else? Okay. If everybody is comfortable, I'd like to have a motion to approve the 2021 budget. Somebody please raise your hand. I see Cindy Faulkner. And we got Sydney, and we got Greg Dunning.
I'll be a second.
Okay, so Cindy was the.
Oh, okay.
Cindy Faulkner. was the first one that I saw. Sure, it's hard because you can't, you get.
Yeah, I've got 2 full
Cindy.
pages of attendance here.
Yeah. So anyways, we got Cindy and Greg. Okay. Is there any more discussion or questions about the 2021 budget? Okay. All right. Well, Linda, would you mute yourself again, please?
Oh, okay, sorry.
That's all right.
We didn't raise the hand though, no.
Oh. Oh, well, we haven't voted. We're about to vote. So now that we have a first and a second, there seems to be no more discussion. All those in favor, please raise your hand or speak.
And leave them up for a little while, please. Okay, everybody that's got their camera on has their hand up. Lee, you're out of picture though. Lee Nelson, I can't see you. Okay, I don't see anybody without a hand up. We can all go ahead and lower our hands now.
But we were doing high fives.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Yeah, so now
Yes,
anybody
Laura.
that audio
No,
only.
wait, Laura and Linda, are you both voting yes?
Yeah. Yeah, we're both, yeah.
You're going for the flow. Okay, cool. All right. Is
And
there anybody?
Edmund.
Go ahead.
Edmund Mack, did we get his?
Edmund, you vote yes or no?
He's still muted.
No.
Okay.
Oop, Edmund turned into man. Well, I think we lost it.
Oh, did-
Yes,
Oh, he's got his hand up. I
There we
see it.
go. Okay, we got it. All right. Cool. So just for the record, is there anyone that is opposing this? Please let yourself be known by raising your hand or speaking.
Okay, I'm looking. Okay, I don't see any hands up in the video, so now we just need to ask audio only participants.
And don't forget Kay.
Right,
She's audio also.
right. So everybody that's audio only, if you do want to vote nay, please unmute and say nay. Okay, I'm not hearing any.
Okay. And do we have anyone that wishes to be registered as abstaining? Please raise your hand or unmute and say so.
I think you're going to have to count Lee Nelson as abstaining since he's not there.
Oh, Lee's taking care of the kid.
Yeah, he's not there.
All right. So
I think
count
that
him.
would be fair to do, yeah.
All right.
So all in favor with one exception. I'm sorry, one abstention.
Okay. So that's the results. All in favor with one abstention. Okay. So next we have is Reverend Sharon is going to bless the assets.
If we were in person when I did my talk today, I would have been wearing black because it was a year where we ended up in the black. Black is a very good color to be in on year-end financials. So just take a moment together with joyful hearts. We have been through an incredible year. We have been blessed by each member of the community individually. We have been blessed with a prosperity flow of financial gifts from our grants and gifts that have come in so many forms. We have been blessed by being led to a right and perfect next home. We have been blessed by the gifts of labor and care that are coming into the building as we truly make this our home. We have been blessed by a new community of wildlife and trees and flowers and plants that surround us and welcome us into their part of nature. We've been blessed with a beautiful pond that will house fish and frogs in the months to come. Most of all, we have been blessed by the hearts of each and every one of us that have been drawn together for these divine appointments. with the tenacity and the courage to persevere from our fire in 2019 to the grand opening that will unfold in divine order at the right and perfect time. We've been blessed to keep every member of our community during this pandemic. Those that even have experienced COVID, that everyone has survived and even thrived during this incredible time. We've been blessed with a perspective on life that is optimistic and open to the work of Spirit to move through each and every one of us as we are each doing those things that we're individually called to do and collectively called to co-create. So for the many blessings that continue to pour down upon us, for all that has been received in gratitude and shared with a deep faith in the abundance of this world, we say thank you, God, and so it is. Amen.
Wow, that was very inspiring. Thank you, Reverend Sharon. Thank you. That was awesome. Every time I walk out to the campus, it just takes your breath away. It really is amazing. Okay. So next, I would take, go ahead. Somebody.
Yeah, it's Laura. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm unfortunately going to have to leave the meeting. I have a prior obligation at 1.
Okay.
But one of the things that I was interested in talking about was whenever you get to the 230 Homes property, there were some questions I had and some things. Belinda's going to speak on my behalf.
Okay.
To some of the things that we were interested in concerning that. And I'll just get back with her. And then if there's more questions or whatever, how should I handle that? Just hold them for the next meeting or?
No, you're welcome to reach out to myself or Reverend Sharon.
Okay. Yeah,
this
is what I had told you about, Sharon. So I've just been so busy. I haven't had a chance to get back with you when we were playing phone tag. But yeah, I will do that then.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you and bless all of you. I will talk to you later.
I'll still be here. I'm gonna go back on mute.
All right. So now that is just Belinda, Greg, for details. All right. All right, let's see, where am I at? Okay. All right, I'm at the moment where this marks the end of the Greg Edwards and Chris Jansen are leaving the board. We're going to have new board members here when this is over. But I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge Greg and Chris Jansen for their years of board service, both at Unity Spiritual Center of Lansing and at Unity of Greater Lansing. Their past board experience has been especially helpful in moving us through these past 18 months. I have to say that both of you guys are great to work with. I'll start with Chris Jansen for a second. Chris is the guy that's always there. Chris would walk to the office and shovel the driveway and the sidewalk. He would walk to the church. You know, all of you, every one of you can know that you could call on Chris. He was right there for you. So Chris, we really appreciate you. We appreciate the love and energy that you bring to this community. You're a valuable asset and you have really helped our board move forward.
Don't forget the beautiful windows he painted at Home Street.
Okay. Yeah, anything else you want to throw in there? I mean, we can talk for days about Chris alone.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you, Dan, and everybody.
Yes, Greg Edwards. You know, Greg had been on the board way back, and he was on the board with Dick Amons. And you've seen this church go through all kinds of ups and downs, but you stick to it. You've stayed here. We appreciate that. And I remember when Reverend Sharon approached you and asked you to come back on the board again. And I don't know how many times you've served, but you were asked to come back. And you hesitated. I don't blame you. You know, you went through some real rough times, but you stepped up. And it's really appreciated that you did step up. You've been a valuable asset also. Your knowledge, many a times that I appreciated your input on things. I was trying to make decisions. You were very helpful in me making decisions. You just bring a lot of love and light to this church. And we greatly appreciate all that you do.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. it's been a wild ride. You know, this has probably been, I mean, it's been a great board to work with, but we've gone through some experiences that I never would have imagined. This has been, this has really been very strange. And you're right, I was on the board with Dick. Actually, Sharon is the 5th minister that I've worked with on a board. So I worked with Dick, and then I worked with Guy Lynch, and then I worked with Kent Lederer, and then Barry, and now Sharon. So yeah, it's been a great experience. I appreciate it. I think you've got some people that are going to be coming onto the board that will be great, and I'll be happy to let somebody else take the wheel.
Great. Thank you so much, Greg. We really appreciate it.
I do have
Okay.
glass globes of the world for each of you, because you do mean the world to us. So as I see each of you, I will get that to you.
Okay. So moving along, we have another special tribute here. Nan and Jerry, I've been given the honor to express our special appreciation for both of you. You two were here when Carol and I first arrived at Unity. You were offering Snudge, I think it was called. It was great food and snacks. Nan and Jerry have given their heart and soul to Unity, and we're all very grateful for both of you. Nan is a little dynamo. She handles all tasks or missions with passion. She is a master organizer and a detailed person extraordinaire. Thanks for all the great, think of all the great meals that we've had that were orchestrated by Nan.
Yeah.
It went down so smooth. Nan and Nancy Cody, along with other team members, led the search to find us a new home. The project went on for years. There was not enough time to tell the whole saga of the search. It was quite an amazing saga. It was filled with countless hours and plan after plan after plan, and mountains of paper and gallons of printer ink. But we have found, we all kept asking why this has been such a hard uphill climb. We have found the answer. We have found the promised land, as Reverend Sharon says. We not only want to thank Nan and Jerry, but everyone else that helped us get to our new home, Unity Campus. Jerry is one of the hardest working retired guys I know. He's a bulldog, and he gets the job done in the most professional way possible. He gets up at 5 a.m. and is at Unity Campus all day. He, along with a team of volunteers, are getting the lodge and the Great Hall safe and in good shape for us. Jerry has tirelessly led the team that got Marshall Street ready to sell. Jerry is always ready to help everyone fix and repair things. He is always helpful, and he is a great friend. We are truly blessed to have Jerry and Nan. We're truly blessed to have Jerry and his vast knowledge of building maintenance and operations. He keeps things running smooth. I'm sure you all have stories to tell about Nan and Jerry. Our gratitude for both of you is beyond words and filled with love. Jerry, would you please present Nan with our gift of gratitude?
I don't have it.
Oh, did you guys both get a gift for each other? You were supposed, did that not happen?
Well, Nan's got one for Jerry. It arrived yesterday. Jessica, are you able to get it to him?
I think it must be on his desk still.
Okay.
We'll get it tomorrow,
Well,
Nan.
Okay, so Jerry, please, Nan, give Jerry his gift of gratitude.
I'm sorry. Nan's will look just like this one. It's probably say Nanetta.
I don't know. You might be surprised. That big bag.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's scotch for anybody wondering. And Nan,
14-year scotch.
Nan, I will tell you what yours are, and you'll get to see the details tomorrow. But it's 2 prints from Brian Andreas from his Everyday Angel series.
Yay.
Thank
So-
you very much. I like him.
Thank
So I
thank
thought
you
it was
very,
time you had your own original prints from him.
Thank you.
is for not.
Let's all just give them applause. We are so grateful for having you as part of your, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, that was fun. Okay, we got to change the page here. Okay, so. Sorry, I lost track of my place. Okay, here we go. So now we move to election of Board of Trustees members. And I'd like to invite Lisa Hastings to present the slate chosen by the nominating team. Lisa.
Thanks, Dan. According to our bylaws, a nominating ministry team will be formed at least 3 months prior to the annual membership meeting. The ministry team will consist of the senior minister and 3 active members selected in the following manner. 1, at the annual membership meeting, the membership shall, from among the active membership of the ministry, select 1 member and 1 alternate to serve on the nominating ministry team for the following year's election. Last year, the congregation elected me. Number 2, the board will elect 1 of its trustees to serve on the nominating ministry team. This year, the board elected Lee Nelson. 3, together with a senior minister, the above 2 ministry team members will select a 3rd person from among the non-active non-board or the active non-board members to serve on the nominating ministry team, and the board chose the alternative congregational representation, Liz Baker. To be eligible to be elected to the Board of Trustees, a person must be an active member of Unity Spiritual Center of Lansing. In addition, candidates for the election shall endeavor to live in accord with the Jesus Christ principles of love and truth as taught by Unity. Work to further the purposes of this ministry through active interest, love, and support. Be a sincere and continuing student of Unity, always remaining conversant with its teachings, and shall have demonstrated leadership capabilities. The team met, and in prayerful consideration and discernment, we are pleased to present the following slate of nominees for your Board of Trustees. Jane Cluse to serve her first 3-year term. Chrissy Scherer to serve her first 3-year term. We also had 2 vacant seats to fill. For these 2-year terms, we have nominated Kathleen Asif for a 2-year term and Casey Miller for a 2-year term. Back to you, Dan.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you to the nominating team for their work. A short write-up on each candidate was mailed to all members. I'd like to invite each nominee to introduce themselves and tell a little bit about them, why they feel called to serve on our board, and I'll write up I will call on them in alphabetical order. Okay. Jumping off script for a second. All right, so we will first give the floor to Kathleen. She muted?
Hi. So I have a story to tell, so I'm going to share with you my story. I first attended Unity at Marshall Street building when Amalia was there. And I met a lot of friends there, and after service, we went out to breakfast together. So back when I was a practicing Catholic, I'm still recovering. The whole reason for going to church on Sundays was to go to breakfast with my friends. Well, at that time, it was to go to breakfast with my friends. I did take a class from Lucille called The Quest in 1995, and gradually all my friends moved away. So I had no one to go to breakfast with anymore, so I stopped attending. And then several years ago, Barbara Christensen, one of the friends that I attended with, that I had class with, came, and she lives in Portland now. And Winnerly was singing at church at Unity. And Winnerly had said a couple of times, you know, you really need to come because Reverend Sharon is just amazing. You know, you'll really like her message. And having had experience of having to translate messages, so that I could understand it. I thought, okay, well, maybe. So I went to listen to Winnerly sing. And afterwards we went out to lunch. And when I got there, I listened to Reverend Sharon speak, and she spoke to my heart and soul. And I've been coming every Sunday since. No friends, just making friends there. So I don't go out to breakfast afterwards. I just come to listen and to share the experience. And I recently retired from MSU after working there 39 years. I worked in Flint, driving back and forth to Flint every day. A lot of hours, a lot of stress involved in that. So I'm retired now, I have time. And so I'm really excited to be asked to serve on the board of this amazing, amazing place with amazing people. And we are so blessed to experience each other and to be able to be participating in this new campus. I'm so excited because I like gardening, and so I have ideas for how we can make the campus even more beautiful than it is. And anyway, so I'm hoping to be able to be a positive difference and serving on the board. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you for stepping up and joining us. We're really, really happy to have you. Okay, Jane will be next.
Hi, I'm Jane Cluse. Oh geez, I've served on the board before. I'd be honored to serve again and hopefully bring my skills and be an active member. I have really enjoyed getting to know Sharon, and I look forward to being out at that beautiful facility and sharing the fellowship that will be happening there. And that's really all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. We're glad you're doing the second round. Okay, Casey Miller. She is just something. You all are, but I have a special place for Casey. She's like my little granddaughter. Go ahead, tell us.
All right. So I'm a Unity baby. I was born and raised in Unity and have been committed and had breaks, and I just love giving back to the community. I give a lot of credit to Unity and Greg Edwards for getting me through Uniteens and YOU in my high school years. And I think most of you probably know, but in case you didn't, I'm also 20 weeks pregnant now. And I just think it's really important to make sure that my Unity home has good roots and foundation for my little boy. So
we're really glad to have you on the board. You're going to bring lots of good wisdom. We appreciate that. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, and then we have Chrissy Schurer. You're up.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, my phone speaker is a little off, so I apologize if I'm sounding muffled, but I've been attending Unity. Leslie Aliss, if some of you will remember, got me involved in Unity. My parents were both members of the Ann Arbor Unity, so I'd go with them at least once a month. And then Leslie's like, you've got to check this place out. The music, everything is just so moving. You're going to love it. And then sure enough, it took me about a month to get there, but haven't turned back. And just the love and light that comes from everybody is just very moving. I am honored to be asked to serve, and will do my very best on everyone's behalf. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Chrissy. I'm really glad, and thank you for stepping up. You're going to bring a nice dimension to this board, and I'm looking forward to working with you. Okay, next on the agenda is, are there any nominees from the floor? If anybody would like to, you can unmute yourself if you'd like to nominate someone that should be on the board. Okay, final chance. Okay, we have no nominees from the floor. Could I have a motion to accept the slate of nominees? So we need somebody. Okay, we got Greg Edwards and Sue Wigglesturm. Okay. Is there any discussion or questions from anyone? You can feel free to unmute yourself if you would like to speak.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Belinda.
Are there more candidates than positions? There's no competition where you have to choose between anybody, right? Because they all look really exceptional. I don't want to have to make any choice. I don't have to choose between people, but I want to support people. But it looks to me like there's just the same number of candidates as there are openings, right?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other discussions or questions? Okay. So with that, everyone that is in favor of the candidates that have been presented, raise your hand. And if you're on a phone, unmute and vote.
I support.
Okay. Thank you, Belinda. Ed?
Thank you.
Yes. There's somebody else. Kay. Okay, has raised her hand.
Okay, I have seen nobody's hands down. Everybody's hand is up. Dan.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Liz had
Oh, Casey, you froze up there.
another meeting too.
Oh, okay. Oh, Liz went to another meeting. Is that what you said?
Yeah, so I don't know if that has to affect your count.
Well, we could put Liz as an abstention. Is there someone that is opposing? Please raise your hand or unmute yourself and speak up.
Sybil has her hand up for a question.
Who has a question?
Sybil. Oh,
Go
no,
ahead,
no,
Sybil.
you're just raising to vote.
Okay.
Okay.
Anybody want to be registered as opposing?
I do not see any hands, Dan.
Okay. And we have Liz as an abstention. Is there anyone else that would like to be registered as an abstention?
I do not see anybody.
Okay. All right, Greg, go ahead and give us the results, please.
Well, so we have one abstention, so we'll record that. And actually, it's just because she had to leave, right?
That's correct.
And so we had 49 with one abstention. That would be 48 in favor.
Okay.
Greg, do we count Laura Runyon as well as an abstain?
Yes.
Oh yeah, she is going. Thank you. That's a good point. So there'd be 2 abstentions, 47 approvals.
Okay. Everybody okay with that then? Okay, so the motion has been passed. Let's welcome our newest members and re-members to our Board of Trustees. Welcome aboard. Looking forward to working with all of you. I think the diversity is going to be great, and we're going to move into some beautiful things. All right, let's see here. What's next on the agenda? Okay, this is in relation to the floor. Bear with me a second as I move through my script. Don't have a teleprompter. All right. So the next item on our agenda is election of congressional representatives and alternate nominating person. The floor is now open for nominees for a congressional representative to the nominating team for 2021. After this, we will also elect an alternate congressional representative. Is there a motion? Okay, if there is more than one nominee, we will use an email ballot. The person with the most votes will be the congressional representative, and the second will be the highest. Do we have any nominees? I see that Peggy Higginbotham has also already been nominated. Is there anyone else to be nominated? If you're on phone, you may just unmute and speak. You can always just unmute and speak if you want to nominate someone. Okay, final call for nominees. Okay, with that, we have no others. Go ahead and read the results, Craig.
Well, the results, we didn't actually vote, right? We just,
Well,
nobody.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
so,
sorry, we didn't vote. I'm sorry, apologize.
that's okay. So we don't, I'm sorry, what do you need me to tell you? I mean,
Well, I
there weren't
guess
any
just that we have one nominee, and so I don't really think there's a need for a vote. Is there anyone that objects to Peggy being the nominee? All right. Okay, so now we're going to open the floor for a nominee, an alternate. In the event, this is in the event that Peggy cannot fulfill her role, or our alternate representative will take her place on the nominating team. Do we have any nominations? Got to have somebody. Can someone nominate themselves?
Yeah,
They're
people
called
can
to.
self-nominate for this. That's what I wanted to say, Dan. If you like to serve in this role, just, self-nominate. It takes usually 2 or 3 meetings. It's next fall. It's short in service, but very rewarding in service. You get to meet people in the congregations. You talk to them about running on the board. So. If nobody's self-nominating, I would like to nominate Chris Jansen, if he would accept.
Is there anybody nominating?
Pondering.
You can't get away, Chris. We need you. Okay.
Thank you, Reverend Sharon.
I don't hear anyone else.
Did he accept? I couldn't hear.
Did you accept, Chris?
I accept, yes.
Okay.
With the caveat that Peggy's not going to go away.
Fail. And so Peggy, do you accept? Unmute yourself.
Yes, I will accept.
Okay. So, are you both willing to stand and do this, take care of this position?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Next on is the president's report. Just a minute, I'm reading my notes here. Before I start that with the president's report, I do want to include gratitude to all of our team members. One thing that happened with our teams is as we got closer and closer, that team leaders stepped down. There was not a lot for them to do, or they resigned from the teams. Like, for example, Casey stepped back from spiritual development and youth development because she was going to develop a youth on her own.
She also took on the prayer team, Dan. She took
oh,
on
that's
the
right.
prayer
She took
team.
on the prayer team. Yeah. So anyways, what's happened is our teams have kind of just all are in limbo or on hold. But I do want to tell every one of you on the teams and the leaders that you did an exceptional job. Our SALT was just unbelievably wonderful. We will get that going again. Outreach team, Teresa, Nan, Jerry doing the admin. We're just really grateful for all of that that you give to the church, and that remember that the teams is the heart of our church, that we're team centric, and that's how we drive this church forward. We're going to be revisiting and revitalizing all the teams here as we get settled into the new campus. So I have a little report I would like to share with you. So last year we held our meeting at the Fledge. That's where we were, in person. We're very grateful to Jerry and the Fledge for providing us with a home. We had a great interaction with the fledglings, and we learned a lot from each other. We had an opportunity to see that we are living up to our vision, a world powerfully transformed through a growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. I want to share with everyone a letter that we received from Jerry. This was quite a while ago. He sent it to the board, and he acknowledged how important we as Unity were to this community, and that they were very grateful, and there was a lot of gratitude for us and for what we've done and for the interaction. But the most touching thing that he said was that several of the young people were able to observe church in a non-threatening way. They've been through a rough time, and they were, had problems with church, whatever, but they were able to kind of casually observe us. And he said that we taught them that a religious experience could be a positive experience and help them. He said that this would help them years down the road, that it was a really great healing. And that is us fulfilling our function. Somebody wanting in. Okay, so So we discovered that unity is an important part of the neighborhood. We worked hard trying to rebuild our beautiful church. We discovered that it would cost $1 million to rebuild. This proved that even when something looks like a setback, we discovered that it is a blessing. Just before our special board meeting to decide on what to do next, Nancy Cody decided to take a look and see if any new opportunities for buildings were listed. She found our new home, Unity Church. It was just an amazing miracle that happened. And thanks, Nancy, for following that guidance, So we've been sent to a new neighborhood and extended our mission. By being guided by God and Holy Spirit, we could rest in knowing that we are always right where we are supposed to be. I'm excited about what is to come. We have learned that we are a strong church. We don't need a building to stay together. We have stayed strong and united, and we have grown. We have adapted and continued to be blessed spiritually and financially. We have received contributions and grants. Unity is financially sound and ready for our next mission. I'm sorry, guys. Got thrown off. I thought I'd turn that off. I lost my spot. Okay, so we've adapted. We've received contributions. We are financially sound and ready to move on to our assignment to be a powerful force of love and peace in our community. I want to say how honored I am to be a part of the Board of Trustees. They work very hard to overcome all obstacles and continue to grow. We worked in harmony and stayed focused on what is in the best interest of Unity Spiritual Center of Lansing. This has truly been a team effort. I thank each of the board members for a job well done. What's on the horizon? We're starting to hold Sunday services in April. That's our target, hopefully Easter. We are a totally handicap accessible facility. We're going to be, we're real close, but we have room for meetings, classes, and workshops. We have lots of parking. We have 10 acres of land to do many things with and grow spiritually to help continue and to help the community and provide a sanctuary for wildlife. The phoenix has risen and we are soaring into the light. Okay. That was my report. Thank you, everybody.
Dan, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just got to stop in to, one, I want to thank you and the rest of the board members, because nobody that signed on knew what we were going to go through. And I mean, it's enough for a church to survive a fire, and then to survive a pandemic on top of the fire is totally extraordinary. I have to thank Winnie for when she said yes, could I be of any help on Sunday services? And Winnie and I mean, we all thought it was gonna be a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two. And, a year later, Winnie and I are there with the God bucket, learning and learning together. It's been quite extraordinary. So anyway, I just wanted to add your thank yous, and to you, Dan, for chairing through this. I'm sure you didn't sign up for a fire pandemic and, and all that.
Been an interesting adventure.
Yeah, and also the
Thank you.
number of people that have supported us through this transition. I did let all the, there was over 100 people that were praying with us, some communities and some individuals, and I gave them a letter updating them on what their prayers support has helped manifest, because we didn't ever do it alone. We've never been alone through any of this. I'll shut up now.
That was thanks. Thank you so much, Reverend Sharon. All right. I'm kind of distracted because the credit card system went down at many, many restaurants, and my phone is blowing up because people are saying my credit card's not working. Yeah, they'll get it back. Okay, so old business. Bylaws revisions. Under old business as follow-up for 2019 and 2020 meeting, the bylaws are currently being reviewed by the team, Teresa Milford and Cindy Faulkner. They're looking at new templates suggested by Unity Worldwide Ministry, as well as clarifying some areas where we had questions. These will most likely be presented for a membership vote at a special meeting, specially called meeting during 2021. This meeting will likely be devoted solely to bylaws because it does take time. But I have to say that I know that that team has been really diligently working on lining things back up. I think we've got a good starting point, and then Worldwide Ministries also sent us some things that will really help us out a lot. So, yeah. Last year, there were some comments from the floor, healthy community interaction. We have taken a great deliberation on how we can co-create safe, most welcoming environment for everyone here at Unity. Our response in setting up a training, of nonviolent communication. I'm going to turn the floor over to Lee Nelson, and he'll talk to you guys a little bit about that. Go ahead, Lee.
Yeah, so this is something that I'm passionate about. I've done nonviolent communication training myself, and so when this has come up from a couple of different areas, you know, and Sharon has been doing some MVC, you know, on her weekly sermons, and to me, you know, one of our main teaching is that thoughts are things, and it's really important to understand that the way that we're speaking represents the thoughts that are in our minds, and to be congruent with who we are as Unity and what we represent. And so this training, as we're getting a lot of new board members together on this board coming up, we also want to do something for the board to congeal in the board. And we want to be representatives, greater representatives of Unity. So all the board will be doing this training, and we're going to open the training to all members of Unity to participate as well. So we've been talking with Karen Stars, who is an NVC trainer and facilitator, and there will be more information coming soon. We don't have it all worked out yet, but we're working on it. So be on the lookout for that, and I hope that a lot of members will join for that.
Okay, thank you, Lee. Sorry, I'm being a little distracted here. Okay, so we talked about that. All right, next, here's some more good news, folks. Home Street. This is an update on Home Street. The October membership passed a motion to authorize the Board of Trustees to make arrangements for and release the property at 23 Home Street. I'm pleased to announce that we have signed a conditional purchase agreement to sell the property to Brent Forsberg for $50,000. The condition is upon approval of the city for what he's planning on doing. It's a sixplex, or 6 apartments. There are 4 apartments on each. First off, he's planning on using the building as is. He's not gonna tear it down. He's going to rebuild it It'll still have the same size. It will still use some of the architectural features and beauty of the church. Like on the front, there will be three apartments, one apartment to the left, one on the north, and in the middle will be a studio apartment. These are all one-bedroom apartments. They're small little apartments, lower, medium in-house coming, but each unit has its own porch and a door. So there'll be porches out there on the sidewalk. On the back, it'll be the same. Like I said, the thing that excites me the most is that they love what our church is. It's a brother-sister team, and the sister walked into the church and as it is now and said that she felt that it was magical. They felt the energy there, and they want to continue to carry that energy. So I would say that our church is also rising to its new function to provide comfortable housing for people at a price that is good for them and good for the community, because they're all about community connection. And that's why they're putting the porches and they want to grow this. The city has kind of given some blessing already, so it's moving forward. If everything goes according to plan, by about the end of April, we'll have sold the property. Has anybody got questions about that? If so, you may just unmute and speak. It's an exciting moment.
I think it's
I
great.
guess,
I'm
I
delighted.
guess I should speak up now.
Okay, go ahead, Belinda.
Laura and I had been talking a lot, and we wanted to try to purchase it because I felt that just with a breezeway, I could meet the residential requirements. And I felt we could get some grants for converting part of it for growing food. And we felt we could serve the community by growing food. And we felt like there were other spiritual things that we could do. I mean, I'm glad to learn that maybe you have a good option, but if it doesn't quite go through, we'd still be interested in seeing what we could do.
Okay. Thank you, Belinda.
Okay, thank you.
We'll keep you informed as to how things go.
Yeah, thanks. We'll be more in touch, okay?
Okay. Speak with,
Yep.
yeah, you, okay, thank you. Anybody else? Questions? Kay wanted to say something. Go ahead, Kay.
Just a minute. And then Kathleen had her hand up.
Go ahead, Kathleen.
Yeah, I wanted to say that back when I argued strongly for us staying and renovating the church, I made the statement that that sacred places hold an energy, and that energetic frequency is in the building and it can be felt in the neighborhood. And I wanted to be able to express it. That was a reason why we should at least try to stay and rebuild. And so I'm so excited to hear that they walked into the church and they felt the energy and sort of says, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a sacred place. We know it's a sacred place. And I'm so happy to hear that they felt like it was a sacred and a sacred place too.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just amazing to me. And the thing that I'm excited about is they're maintaining the size of it and the architectural beauty of it. So, any other comments?
Dan, I just want to add, they haven't decided what they're going to name the building yet, but they're considering they'd like to find a way to keep unity in the name.
Yes.
So anyway, we'll see. They really honor the building, they honor the history, they honor what's been done there.
It's a blessing. It truly is. It's the Phoenix rising again. Okay. Is there any other old business anybody would like to bring up? Okay. New business. Okay, so let's see. When we purchased our new property, we could no longer use the funds in the Beacons for Prosperity account for those funds. We dedicated to building an elevator for the home street. We contacted each other donors to ask permission to move their donation to the general funds so that we could use it for maintenance, remodeling of our new building. There were a few people we were unable to reach because we did not have any contact information. Robert's Rules of Order allows us to remove the restrictions on these funds if the membership votes to do so. So I'd like to entertain a motion to move the remaining $4,988.78 from the Beacons of Prosperity Fund to the general fund. We need a motion. I see Jerry raising his hand, and I see Chris McInhill as a second. Okay. Turn the page. All right, any discussion on that? Anybody want to make comments or things? No? Last call for discussion. Everyone in favor, please raise your hand, or if you're on the phone, please unmute and speak your vote.
Okay, I'll go ahead and count. Dan, the participant number is 43 now, so it looks like a couple of people had to leave. So we'll have to take that into consideration with our vote total, I think. But
Okay.
let me go ahead and count. Thanks for leaving your hands up for a bit, folks.
Chris is with me now. He left his computer.
Okay, yep.
Chris joined Lisa.
Yep. Okay, I'm not seeing any hands down, actually. Everybody's got their hands up that I can see. All right, so
Edmund?
go ahead and, yeah, so we can put our hands down and you can ask folks that are on the audio only now.
Edmund?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Belinda?
I don't see her on the screen anymore, Dan.
Well, she's there.
I'm
There she is.
here. I'm here.
Hi.
I'm
Okay.
here.
Yes.
I just had a hard time getting back to the unmute.
Okay.
Do
Did
you
you
vote
vote
yes?
What was it again?
I'll give you the quick synopsis. It's real quick because we're moving the
Yes.
money that was raised for the Beacons of Prosperity, moving it to the general fund.
Oh, that's fine by me.
Okay. And Kay?
Kay raised her hand, yes.
She did? Oh, I see it. Thank you. Yep.
Okay. Now then, is there anyone that would like to register their vote as opposed? Raise your hand or speak up. Anyone that would like to register their vote as abstained, please raise your hand or speak up.
And that would probably be anybody that's had to drop. We'll figure that out.
Okay, we'll straighten that out.
Okay.
So go ahead and give us the results, Greg.
Well, there's still 43 participants in the meeting, so that's at least 43 yeses. And then there were no nays and there were no recorded abstentions, but we can count the folks who have had to drop as abstentions. We have at least 43 yeses on this.
Greg?
Yes, yeah.
There still are, the amens and the clues have two people on these screens.
Right, yep. So that would be 45.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yep.
And Chris Jansen and Lisa Schmidt are now on the same screen.
Right. Chris still has an empty square.
He's holding his spot. He went up
Okay,
to-
so I think that we can record 45 definite yays and no nays, and then we just have to figure out the exact number of abstentions. Okay.
Okay. All right. It sounds like that motion passed then.
I think
Okay.
that would be 6 abstentions from counting. No, 45. That'd be 4 abstentions.
Okay. That takes care of that. Is there any new business anyone would like to bring up? Anything anybody wants to bring
Dan, maybe just a moment to explain what the church is going to look like when we do open. We'll still be practicing social distancing. We have set up tables in the sanctuary that are 7 feet apart. We're looking at 4 people at a table. If you're not in a bubble together, you can distance 6 feet because the tables are 5 feet wide. We are going to ask people to reserve when they're coming to call and let us know they're coming so we can practice the social distancing, though we will not turn anybody away at the door. We're just trying to get an idea of who's coming so we know that we can be prepared for everybody. We will be requiring masks. From our safety team, we understand that we can sing if we are wearing masks and it's still safe. And it's real important as we're going through this transition. Some of us that are older have been vaccinated. Some of us that are younger aren't in line yet. And so everybody's going to come back at their own comfort level, and we recognize this. So of all time, this is such a critical time not to be judgmental on anybody. We just really honor everybody's decision of how they feel safe. And we're going to do everything we can to make this the safest place possible. When you do come in for Sunday service, you'll be asked to sign in so we have contact information. And if you reserved ahead of time, we'll have that information on the list. We can just check off that you're there. So Edmund, you're going to be busy with the new plans, assuming that you're still working with our ushers and greeters. So just wanted to give you an idea. Oh, good. God bless you. God bless you. Just give you an idea. It's going to look a little differently, but the whole world looks different right now. You're muted, Dan.
Sorry, I was taking care of some of that other business I had to. Anyway, so is there any other new business? Anything anybody needs to bring up? Comments? Okay, well, I have to say that for our first virtual meeting, that was pretty smooth. A few minor bumps, but I think we got a lot done. I think it went well. I think there's a lot ahead for us. The future looks very bright. We've got just so much to be grateful for. So with that, let's have Reverend Sharon give us a closing prayer.
Okay. So we're not going to be joining together to eat at our favorite buffet. We are joining together in spiritual food, just seeing each other's faces and remembering the faces that are not with us today. So we go forth joyfully, knowing that all truly is unfolding in divine order, that the time is coming when we will be able to meet again, but that the Unity Ministry exists, whether in person or in spirit. So we give thanks for the divine leadership of this community, for the divine members that are drawn to this divine appointment to simply be, to be that powerful force for good in our neighborhood, wherever that may be. So for this time together, for the great joy and the great celebratory nature of today, we say, thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, Greg Edwards, you need to unmute because I need a motion from you. This will be your last opportunity.
Okay. I move that we close this annual meeting.
And I think it's appropriate that Greg Edwards seconds it.
That was Greg Edwards.
I mean, Greg Dunning, the other Greg, you know that guy.
I second.
Anybody opposed? All in favor, raise your hand.
I raised my hand too.
Thank you. We hope to know by March 22nd to make a call on, where the virus rates are and stuff about opening for Easter.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Thank you, everyone.
I
You're an amazing, wonderful group.
Abby took him away.
What?
I wanted to see Lee and Abby's baby, but Abby took him away.
Oh. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
He's feet.
Oh, have fun. It'll be good. It'll be good. Just get everybody's, get a good meeting. Good.